Alafia ati Ife, my dear brothers and sisters. Oriire funowo. Good tidings to you. I pray that you are feeling awake, aware, and elevated in mind, body, and spirit, wherever you are and whatever may be happening around you. Asheo. If you've been studying with me for a while, welcome back. I'm grateful for your attendance and support as we travel together into the wisdom of Ifa. Homage to the one who sends and to those who are sent. Homage to Orisa and Egun. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. If you're new to these video lessons, I'm Baba Umar, Oluranse Emese, voice of the MSA, member of the Isoro Traditional Council of Chiefs in Ile-Ife, Nigeria, Oluwo of the House of Umar, and Babalawo of Ile-Ife Orisa, the House of the Mysteries of the Orishas. You can learn more about the MSA and the Isoro Council in the description section below and on our website. Also, a link to our website is in the description section below. Our topic in this video is Sacred Odu Ifa EjiOgbe, the essay on the status of Oriire. As I mentioned in the last video, over the next several lessons, we will be looking at a few of the essay Ifa from Sacred Odu EjiOgbe. So we're talking about we begin the lesson with an overview, looking at the overview of EjiOgbe as a whole. Then we'll go into the particular essays that we want to. Now remember, there are over 360 essays for every Odu, and multiple, we say 360 variations of those essays. So there's a wealth of information in the Sacred Odu Ifa. We're just going to cover a few of the essays from this particular Sacred Odu. In our last video, we talked about, in terms of the overview of EjiOgbe, we talked about creation and divinity or divine order. We talked about clarity, truth, and purity. And we talked about Oriire and personal destiny. So let's continue from there on, the overview, the core spiritual themes in EjiOgbe. So, stability, success, and blessings. It is one of the most auspicious and positive Odus in Ifa, EjiOgbe. It brings longevity, elevation, favor, peace, and prosperity. However, its blessings are conditional upon good character, truthfulness, and self-discipline. Oftentimes, a devotee will contact me and they want a reading to see, why they're being blocked in some particular area. And there are a number of different explanations that come up, but it's not unusual for us to be led to the idea that there's something about the person's character, the way they show up on their path, that is the reason that they're being blocked in achieving their particular goals. So EjiOgbe teaches that character is the foundation of all spiritual and material success. How you show up on your path, what you bring to the table as you interact with Orisa and the spiritual forces. No matter how favorable your destiny, your birth destiny, no matter how favorable your destiny, if your character is flawed, your success may be delayed, denied, and even reversed. So character is essential. This Odu also talks about communication with the spiritual realm, or rune. It represents open access to divine communication. Those who receive or are born under EjiOgbe are considered to be spiritually guided, often called to leadership and priesthood. So when you cast your OB, when you're doing your Ifa reading and you cast your OB twice and you come up with an Odu, if that Odu happens to be EjiOgbe, then you know from what we've covered last week and this week with this overview, you have a general idea of the kind of energies that are surrounding you and that are being communicated to you by your Ori and your Egun. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Okay, let's go into this essay on status of Ori. Now, when you download the PDF video script, when you see the numbering system that I use for the essays, this essay is numbered 1.1.2. Don't pay too much attention to the numbers. That's my way of numbering the essays that I've chosen to cover in these lessons for you. So that's more relevant to me than it is to you. But I put it in the notes anyway for my sake, more so than for yours. Aboru aboye. Kbonbon niningun nigba. Tiohun kanba subusheyen. A loud sound is heard when an object falls. Wonshe ifafun alagbede. Okundi woning peniori. They cast divination for the blacksmith of the ocean called Ori. Ori loda oya si Ile-Ira. Ori created Oya in Ile-Ira. Ori loda Shango si Koso. Ori created Shango in Koso. Ori loda Orisha si Iranje. Ori created Orisha in Iranje. Ori loda Ogun si Ire. Ori created Ogun in Ire. Ori loda Eshu Odara si Ketu. Ori created Eshu Odara in Ketu. Ori loda Oshun si Ijumu. Ori created Oshun in Ijumu. Ori loda Orisha Oko si Agba Irawo. Ori created Orisha Oko in Agba Irawo. Ori loda Egun si Oje. Ori created Egun in Oje. Ori loda Iyami si Ota. Ori created Iyami, the mothers, in Ota. Ori loda Orunmila si Oke Igeti. Ori created Orunmila in Oke Igeti. Ori loda mi si Ile-Ayo. Ori created me in the abode of joy. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. Let's look at the spiritual significance and traditional interpretation of this particular essay. It's pretty profound. The core teachings. Ori is the first and highest creative principle in human destiny. This essay Ifa is one of the clearest, most powerful declarations in the entire corpus that Ori stands above all Orisha when it comes to your and my destiny, fate. EjiOgbe is the Odu of light, primordial beginnings, expansion of consciousness, the original word of Olofi-dumare, order, growth, and forward movement. In this particular essay, the Odu elevates Oriire to the status of the divine artisan, Alegede Okun, Alagbegde Okun, Alagbegde Okun, a blacksmith working in the cosmic ocean of pre-existence. This metaphor is not decorative. It's revealing a metaphysical truth. Oriire is the craftsman that shapes every person's and thing's spiritual architecture before manifestation. The loud sound when something falls backwards is symbolic of a cosmic announcement, the impact of destiny descending from Orun to Aye. This positions Oriire as the one whose decisions echo throughout our lives. This will become clearer as we go through the rest of this lesson. So why do these verses list the origin points of the Orisa? What's the point of that? The enumeration of the towns of origin of the major Orisa is a traditional way of showing each Orisa has its own sacred geography, rooted in specific soils, lineages, histories, and mythic events. I remember when I met my first Babalawo, Babatunji Olokodana, when he introduced himself to me, and as we continued our conversation, he was able to delineate 16 generations of his ancestors, all of whom were Babalawos. So when I introduced myself, I'm not just Umar Sharif, I'm not even just Baba Umar Sharif. I'm Baba Umar Sharif with a relationship to, or a lineage tied to the Isoro Traditional Council of Chiefs, tied to the House of Obatala, tied to Baba Tunji Olokodana, tied to Baba Adele Khan. So when we introduce ourselves according to our lineage, not just our familial lineage, the lineage of our birth family, but the lineage of our spiritual family, our spiritual head. Where does our wisdom and our understanding of Ifa come from? So Oriire is the one force that determines the manifestation, our manifestation in the world. This is a radical theological point in Ifa. Oriire is paramount. So, I've said to you in the past, when you get up in the morning, make a brief prayer to Oriire. That's open your day up by acknowledging and appealing to Oriire to guide you through the day. Why? Because Oriire is paramount. Even the Orisa themselves rely on Oriire to enter existence. That's why this Odu, or this essay, is saying, that Oriire created Shango here, and Oriire created Orisha here. Why? Because it's Oriire, pointing out Oriire is the one that sets the stage for these Orisa, these individuals, these manifestations to take place. Oya, Shango, Orisha Nla, Ogun, Eshu, Oshun, Egun, Iyami, Orunmila. These are not created by Oriire in a literal biological sense. Rather, Oriire is the principle that assigns, fashions, and approves the destiny path through which each Orisa becomes known and experienced by humanity. The destiny path, and you and I have a destiny path, and Ori also fashions, assigns, and approves your and my destiny path. This aligns perfectly with classical Ile-Ife theology, where Ori is the seat of personal destiny, Kunleyan, what one kneels to choose. This is before coming into the world. Legba, what Ori accepts. And Ayanmo, the unchangeable core of destiny and fate. So Ori is being presented as the architect of destiny, even for the divine beings, the blacksmith of the ocean. Think about, what is the blacksmith doing? It's creating, it's fashioning, it's molding. Okay? And so Ori is the one that's creating, fashioning, molding the destiny path, not only of you and I, but even of the spiritual beings. Let's look at the kind of deeper, the subtle, hidden doctrine within this essay. Ori precedes personhood, divinity, and manifestation. Before you come into the world, before you take on this avatar, before you take on a particular personality, there is Ori. In the Ife theology, before anything becomes something, its Ori Inu, inner head, is defined in Orun. Before anything becomes something, its Ori Inu, its inner head, is defined in Orun. And notice I'm saying before anything, not just a human being, not just, a spiritual being, before anything becomes something, Ori Inu defines its character, its energy, its purpose, its profile in Orun. So this essay is affirming Oya cannot be Oya without Ori assigned to her path. Shango cannot be Shango without the Ori that shapes his destiny of rulership, thunder, and justice being there. Eshu cannot carry Ashe unless Ori authorizes that path. Even Orunmila, who knows all destinies, requires his own Ori to become who he is. In fact, look, a blade of grass cannot grow as a blade of grass without the Ori that shapes the laws that govern the nature of grass in all of its characteristics. Let that settle on you. Not a tree, not a fish, not an animal, not the sun, the moon, the star. This makes Ori the divine identity behind every expression of purpose. Ori gives divine identity and purpose to the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the water, the plants, the stones, the mountains, the insects, the birds, you and me. It is Ori. So these verses are ultimately about you. The last verse in this essay is about you. Ori lodami si ile ayo. Ori created me in the abode of joy. Ori created you in the abode of joy. This declaration is a powerful affirmation of, one, self-recognition. I've been teaching you all these years. Escape the hypnosis of social conditioning. Know who you are. In order to do that, you must fortify your relationship to Ori. It's a declaration of the fact of destiny ownership. You are responsible for your pre-birth and after-birth choices. It's on you. Don't look outside of yourself for a savior. Look within yourself for that savior. Spiritual authority. You are a divine being with immense spiritual power. Again, escape the hypnosis of social conditioning, the lies and the conditioning that has told you that you are worthless, that you were born helpless, that you were born in sin, that you can't accomplish without, some external force, being there to save you. No. You were born, you were created with spiritual authority. Ori gave you spiritual authority. Ori is here with you in spiritual authority for you to make choices that will bring about the fulfillment of your destiny and mine. This is inner sovereignty. You have supreme and independent power and authority to do what? To choose. That's your superpower. To choose, the ability to choose. And how do you know what choice to make? Your Ori. It means your Ori consciously placed you in the realm of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. It's not a boast. It is an acknowledgement of your divine assignment. Remember the fourth truth of Ifa. It is your birthright to be happy, successful, and fulfilled. When you internalize that verse, my Ori created me in Ile-Ife, the abode of joy. You're taking responsibility for walking your chosen path, honoring your inner wisdom, and refusing to deny the greatness encoded within you. Don't let anybody or anything take that away from you. And so if you stumble and you trip and you make mistakes or you run into difficulty, remember the good and the bad travel together in the world, in the Loja. That's what Ifa teaches. So you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. You're going to have to climb the mountain, and then you're going to have the satisfaction of coming down the other side of the mountain with less strain. That's just the nature of the Loja. But that doesn't change who you are. You are a divine, supreme being manifesting through your particular avatar. This is why Babalawos recite this verse when reminding someone that Ori never betrays the person it created. Ori never betrays or abandons the person that it created. Ori lo dami si Ile-Ife. Ori created me in the abode of joy. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. In Ile-Ife, the Ifa tradition, Ori is the only divinity that follows a person through all incarnations. Orisa accompany us by affinity or initiation, but Ori is constant across all of your and my lifetimes. So what does this mean? So I have devotees will come to me, or someone will come to me and say, oh, Baba, I'd like to get a reading. I want to know, who my who my Orisha, my guiding Orisha, what Orisha crowns my head, etc., etc. And so we'll do, of course, first we want to do their birthing Odu, their Odu Ojo Ibi. And maybe they'll say, I have dreams about Oshun. I have dreams about Shango, or I just feel this affinity towards Shango, or this affinity towards Ogun. Oftentimes, when we do a reading and their crowning Orisha reveals itself, it's the Orisha that they had this feeling about, or so had these dreams about, or that they often thought about. Okay, so that's the affinity aspect. Orisha accompany us by affinity. Then you may go through initiation, and initiation will reveal that that is indeed the Orisha that crowns your head. Not always, but oftentimes, the feeling that you get about an Orisha being present in your life, being with you, will turn out to be accurate. Ori is the only being that accepts sacrifice on your behalf. So you get a reading and you're supposed to do an ebo, and the ebo is going to be received by Shango, or the Odu is going, the ebo is going to be received by Yemoja or by Olokun. Well, yeah, the ebo is being given to Yemoja, Olokun, or Ogun, but who is really receiving the ebo? Well, in the tradition, we say it's only Ori. Ori is the only being that accepts sacrifice on your behalf. So it may go through Yemoja, it may go through Ogun. Shango might be the one who takes the tray from you, right? But it doesn't necessarily sit with that Orisha. Ultimately, the ebo is being done to satisfy the call of your Ori. This is why the proverb says, Ori ni afi beyin, Ori buruku. Your Ori will carry you out of misfortune. Aki ifi Orisha, beyin Ori buruku. No Orisha is tasked with that responsibility. Your Ori will carry you out of misfortune. No Orisha, no matter how much you pray to them, no matter how many ebos you do, no Orisha is tasked with the responsibility of carrying you out of misfortune. It is Ori that you are consulting when the Babalawo sits down with you on the mat and casts Ifa for you. Or it's Ori that you are consulting when you sit down on your mat and cast your OB. If you neglect Ori, no ritual elsewhere can compensate. This is the logic of this proverb. If you neglect Ori, remember I said in a previous lesson, if the king sends you, into the world or into a town to do a particular job, and you go to that town and people ask you to do this and to do that, and so you're running around fulfilling the needs of this person and answering the call of that person and answering the call of that person, all of which are good things, okay? But if you do that 100 things, but fail to do what you were sent to do, then no matter how good they were, the 100 things that you did do not count, because you didn't do what you were sent to do. If Ori sends you into the world with a particular destiny that you chose, if you come into the world, your Ori sends you into the world with a destiny that you chose, and you don't do what you're supposed to do, but you do a whole bunch of other stuff, the whole bunch of other stuff that you do doesn't make up for the fact that you did not do what you were called to do, what you were sent in the world to do. Oriire, that is your blessing. Oriire, that is your source. Oriire, that is your guide. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. So, look, let me know in the comments how this lesson enhances your understanding of your Oriire. Also, you know what would be interesting? Let me know in the comments where you are, where you're viewing this from. I get responses, I get information from emails, etc., from people in France, in Trinidad, obviously in the United States, and in Nicaragua. You know, I'm surprised that the different places and places around the world that people are listening to our videos that are part of our EjiOgbe, our community. So it'd be nice just to know where it is that you're listening from. How widespread is our net as we cast it out, hoping to bring Ifa understanding to as many people as we can. And of course, you help with that by, clicking those buttons, right? Like the video, subscribe, comment, and pass the word on, share, okay? Appreciate it, much appreciated. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of this community. I love you. I think that you and I, especially those of you who have been with me for a while, some of you have been studying with me for 2, 3, 4, 5 years and more. So I'm really appreciative of that, and I hope that you will continue to take this journey with me. Ki Olofi-dumare Orisa ati egun fifune ni itona imoye ati opo ere. May Olofi-dumare Orisa and egun bestow upon you guidance, wisdom, and abundant blessings. Ifo Kanbale, peace of mind from Olofi-dumare. With all of what's going on in the world, look, in the midst of all of this confusion, I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. With all of the confusion and the enmity, the hatred and the hostility and the madness that is going on in the United States and around the world. Ifo Kanbale, to be able to maintain peace of mind from Olofi-dumare in the midst of what may be going on around you. That's the significance of this brief prayer that I offer. Ifo Kanbale, peace of mind from Olofi-dumare. Regardless, I want you to stay in the eye of the storm, not get caught up in its powerful winds. Alafia ati Ife, peace and love. Ajolo, Ajobo. We go out together, we return together. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo.